YouTube, B Smokehouse back here with you. Today we're going to do some chicken shawarma. Now, not doing everything from scratch. However, we are going to make sure we're packing some big flavors. Let me show you what I have. Real simple. I've got some chicken shawarma mix. Can you see that? That I got from my local health food store. Alright? We might not be using this right now because I'm going with a base marinade. So we're going to get... So these are a package of chicken thighs, bone in. Later on, these are going to go in my rotisserie after they've marinated. Alright, so we're going to get, I don't know why I'm sectioning them out like this, but we're going to get them laid out. And then I've got one large portion of red onion and a half of a red onion. Again, it's been pulverized. I grated it first and it wasn't juicy enough. So if you didn't know, onions, Asian pears, there are other vegetables and fruits who have an enzyme in them that actively help break down meat, marinate meat, right? So this is going to be more like a Greek type of chicken. I'm gonna call it shawarma for the video because that's the spice I'm going with. This shawarma mix doesn't have any salt, so along with this seasoning agent, we have kosher salt, and of course, ton of garlic, and then of course, we've got olive oil. Let me show you how we're gonna put this together. So first, I'm going in with my, let's go. I'm gonna go in with red onion pulp. Again, now, I am making sure that we're packing big flavors. How am I doing that? Well, for one, we're using chicken thighs. Chicken thighs, that fat content, you can see I pulled off the skin. Don't really need it. And now we're going to massage this red onion. You can do this with a yellow or white onion as well. You'll see a lot of meats from the Mediterranean, the Middle East. They are marinated in pulverized onion. Brings a good, great earthy flavor. We're going to denature some of the proteins in this meat. And then we're going to enter our own seasonings. Right? Real simple recipe today, guys. Alright, so that's covered. Smells good. Of course, it smells like onion. We're going to go on with the garlic. We're using all of the garlic. I could have did more than this. I'm a garlic heavy person. Garlic forward. Ooh. Like I said, later in this video, a few pinches of salt. Later in this video, we're going to get this on a spit, get it out on our rotisserie. Probably the next few hours, I'll end up hitting this with some shawarma spice. I really didn't do that much to the chicken. And you see it's got a lot of fat on it. There are pieces in here. See, I'm not taking that off. Not taking that off. I believe that's actually good for the, now it might cause flare-ups on my rotisserie, that's fine. I'll be standing right by the rotisserie. Get that garlic in there. Again, I'm home for a few days, so the challenge is this. Trying to make meals for my family when they come home from school and work that I don't have to go out and shop for, right? Price of groceries. I think I was in a store yesterday. I was like, good Lord, look at the prices. I think I only came out with 3 small bags, 70 bucks. Now, I don't mind spending cash on groceries because, you know, we're consuming them. But the same bag of groceries that used to cost me, I think 25, 30 bucks, now has skyrocketed to 70 bucks. Inflation is real. Now we're going to end this off with some olive oil. Get it in there. And this is going to set in my fridge, covered, of course. You always want to cover your chicken. It'll be covered for the next, 4 to 6, maybe 8 hours if I can push it that long. Then I will get a wood fire started on a Weber 22-inch kettle. Get these put on a spit. Again, bone in. I didn't take them out. You can if you want, or you can simply buy boneless thighs. Now, if you didn't know about chicken, anytime that butcher touches this chicken, drives the cost up. So that's why I got skin on, bone in chicken thighs. You can absolutely use breast because of the marination and the tenderization that's going to occur. However, on my rotisserie, I just feel like that breast will dry out really fast, especially with no skin covering it, right? Skin kind of helps hold some of that grease, that fat, that moisture in. So we're going to take this, leave it as is, probably in the next few hours. I'll get it back out and hit it with my shawarma spice. I want to make sure that shawarma spice gets into this denatured protein. So over time, the onion's going to assist in breaking down this chicken. This won't be in there that long. If you watch my video on doing an Asian marinated beef flanking ribs, we do the same thing, right? Except I think I use the Asian pear. You can use Kiwi. Kiwi does the same thing. It's just I'm trying to keep this Mediterranean, right? There you have it. Hey, stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and cover this, get this in my fridge, clean my kitchen up. I'll be back when I'm getting ready to put this on a spit and then on my grill. I'm going to also show you guys how we're going to season it. The idea of this is to keep it simple. Gets no simpler than this. Surely you've got an onion laying around. You've got some salt. You may not have the chicken shawarma spice, but you can actually make your own, right? I'm being lazy today. Again, quick cook, delicious. I might go and get some pita pockets. That might be the only thing I get. Make a nice salad or something like that, and we're gonna eat. Stay tuned. YouTube, we back. Let me get you straightened up so you can see what I see. So this is the chicken that has been sitting. Inside of the pulverized red onion. Again, you could have did this with a white onion. You could have did this with a yellow onion. The smell I'm getting is not really oniony. Before it was, right? So again, I'm just repeating myself. Chicken looking pretty good. I've added garlic. You guys saw that. So now what we're going to do, now that the onion has somewhat had time to do its job, we're going to go in with our shawarma spice. Chicken shawarma spice. That's what we're making. So let me get a spoon, and we're going to start adding in a shawarma spice and massaging this chicken in. Massaging this chicken. So this shawarma spice, I believe it was bought at one of the world markets here in my area. This is where our flavor is going to come from, that char that's going to be produced from that all-wood fire that we're going to be burning. That fat, you want to make sure that you get it on that fat. I'm massaging this into this chicken. That along with that onion should be spectacular. So now, I did leave bone in here probably another hour or so. I'm going to go ahead and get this on a spit, on my spit rod. Get it over the bone or just to the side of the bone, and then we're gonna probably put it back in the fridge to let it continue marinating. Now this here I'm massaging in. I'm not too sure yet how will this be served. I'm not gonna do whole pieces of chicken. Kids, at least the kids in my house, they leave meat on the bone. So really what I want to do, once I've massaged this in and get it cooked here in the next few hours, I want to shave the chicken off just as you would get if you went to a shawarma place or a place that serves Greek food, or they serve Egyptian / Middle Eastern food. It smells good. You get a chance and you want to make this, you know, you can absolutely make your own shawarma spice. Look up a good recipe on the tube, or look up a good recipe on Google. Make your own shawarma spice. But I can only imagine this probably has some cardamom in it, some allspice. Probably has some cloves, some cinnamon, just for a start. Some star anise, make everything pop. So this is looking absolutely good. Now I might hit this again right before I put it back on a spit with this spice. Again, I tasted this spice on my tongue. Not that much real salt to speak of, right? So that's one of the reasons I salted this before we got started. I can tell that that pulverized onion is doing its job. This chicken is feeling a bit looser than it did before, and that's what we want. Now, these are thighs, so you know, in my estimation, in my opinion, the thighs are one of the most flavorful portions of the chicken. Didn't use breast because of you know, it can dry out really easy, really quick. We did pull the skin off. Could have made some chicharron, some shawarma chicharron with it. Fusion of flavors, I didn't. So this is gonna go back into my fridge, marinate, really let these shawarma flavors infuse into this chicken. And the next time you guys see me will be when I'm getting it on a spit. Hey, stay tuned. YouTube, we back. Here's my chicken. Let's see how we can figure out a sensible way to get this on a spit. Here's my spit. Here's the end. Now, this onion marinade has done a number on this chicken, especially the smaller pieces. So here's, I'm gonna try and start off with a large piece. Let's see if we can get that going straight through the middle. All right, it's one piece. Straight through the middle, next to the bone. Two pieces. Now, I'm gonna eventually have to figure out a way to secure this so it isn't just flopping around. I'll use the tines for that. Shouldn't be an issue. But some of this stuff, like the fatty pieces, I might just fold up and tuck it in between the different pieces of chicken. Can you see that? Let's get this. Smells absolutely delicious. Smells like shawarma. Right next to that bone for some support. Can you see that? Got a few more pieces here. Not looking too bad. We're gonna have to clean it up with those tines. Hopefully my tines are small enough to actually go through a lot of this, and then so I can cinch everything down. So let's just sit it here for now. The smaller pieces. See, that bone is wanting to come out already. That's that onion marinade. I've seen it happen too with the kiwi. The kiwi works really fast too. But I use that on my flanking ribs when I'm doing it in a galbi style. So let's see. Left the bones in these because of I ain't gonna even be able to use that. It's ripping apart. Alright. So we're gonna set this on the board. Can you see that? Yep. Set it on the board. And then we're gonna try to find center. Alright. Got one victim I ain't gonna be able to use. Might just throw it next to the coals. I don't believe in throwing anything away. Alright, I got my tines here. Let's see if I'm going to be able to, even if I'm able to just cinch these down, I'm okay with it. Alright, let's see what we can get. There we go. I like that. Yep, it looks really good. Alright, I didn't think that was going to work out like it did. Yeah, let's tighten it up. Let's give this one a good push. Get it tightened up. If you hear anything in the background, that's my dog. Anytime he sees me cooking, he decides it's a good time to eat his kibble. Alright. I like where this is. I might go and try to tuck some of these pieces in. Actually, you know what? We might be fine. I'll put the counterweights on here shortly. I'll bring you guys back when have gotten a fire started. We're gonna get this on and start cooking. I might go ahead and shave some off. However, Once it starts cooking, I might shave some off. However, because I have these bones in here, I might have to wait till the whole thing's done to go ahead and start shaving meat off. Stay tuned. Alright, YouTube, Beef Smokehouse back here with you. Here's the setup. I've got a split of applewood on there. You can see that's lighted perfectly. We also are getting some of the chicken, that outside chicken and the ones that's flopping around, getting some char and cooking a little bit faster. I'm not mad at it. I'm going to wait till this whole thing is done until I start pulling anything off of here, slicing anything off, taking meat off the bones. Reason for that being these are thighs, not worrying about them going up to 180, 185, 190, 195. I'm not. They're still going to stay juicy and render a juicy product on our pitas. Stay tuned. Like where this is headed, it smells absolutely delicious. That apple is giving off some great flavor. You can smell it. It smells like a sweet red apple. Stay tuned. All right, we are sitting at about 45 to 50 minutes in. Let me show you how they're looking. You see that? Like those edges that are getting crispy? These are thighs, so not really worried about this drying out. In fact, if you went to actual legit shawarma place, or if you're getting kebab or whatever you're getting, so you'll see this spit will be sitting upright with this turning. I don't have that type of technology, so I am doing what I have. Let me back you up. But you can see all that fat still dripping off there. I'm going to give it another 15-20 minutes before I start probing. Again, these are thighs. If I went with anything other than thighs, say breasts, then I would be tipping, probably adding some fat to the party. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Alright guys, here's what we're looking like. I've already served 3 pitas. So I have already been shaving off this, getting ready to make my plate and my daughter's plate. But here's what we're looking like. I'm going to pull some of this meat. Now, next time I'm probably going to do boneless chicken thighs because I don't have to worry about slicing around the bone. I'm actually going to take this meat off the tines, pull it, and I'll bring you guys back to make one of these delicious pitas. Stay tuned. YouTube, we back. Let me go ahead and put a pita. I call it pita. Some people call it pita. I call it pita pocket. I'm used to, when I was growing up, my grandmother used to make these. You can make them with beef, pork, chicken. She used to make an incision here, cut it open, and then stuff everything I'm gonna put on. These can be eaten like a pocket, or they can be eaten like a taco. Let me show you how I'm gonna put mine together. Pita pocket, it's been in the oven at 400 degrees for 1 total minute. I've got some homemade tzatziki sauce, or tzatziki-like sauce that I made. Heavy on the garlic. We're gonna go down with some of that. Then we're gonna get some lettuce. Then we're gonna go down with a little bit of feta cheese. Like the funkiness that this feta cheese brings to this dish. There's a saltiness. Some people might say umami. Alright? Okay? And then now we're gonna go down with some cucumber. That's typically traditional, especially if we're talking eating these in the Mediterranean. Then we go down with some tomato. Alright, then I love the taste of a raw onion. I love most onions raw or cooked. Going down with some red onion. And then we're gonna take some of our chicken here. I pulled it off the spit, guys. I'm the last one to eat, that's fine. I'm gonna go offline here in a bit because I've got to get some pictures first. Let me show you what I love about this chicken. And I'm starting to love that rotisserie even more. See these dark pieces? Those dark pieces pack the most flavor. At first I thought everything was getting burnt, but because we were using thighs, chicken thighs, it got enough fat, enough flavor, bringing it to the party. And then I'm gonna hit mine with a little bit more cheese. And then I'm gonna finish it off with some sauce. I'm gonna get some pictures and then bring you guys back for a taste test. Sauce. And there you have it. The Beef Smokehouse Pita. I already know I got rave reviews. My son is on his second one. My daughter's on her first one. This is not the first time I've made these. This is the first time I've made these like this using the rotisserie chicken with that shawarma mix. That thing actually comes through, shines bright. You can taste the shawarma mix, all the different spices in there. It's absolutely delicious. Before I close this out so I can get pictures and come back for a taste test, let's recap what we did. I went and bought a whole long pack of bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. I removed the skin, I left the bone in. The bone equals flavor. Now the next time I do this, I'm probably just going to use boneless chicken thighs. It's really hard to cut around that bone on that spit to go ahead and shave some meat off. The best way to do this would be shave meat off while that spit is still turning on the grill, right? That meat is still hot. You can go ahead and put you some pitas together. All this stuff is what we know as mise en place. That means preparation in place. Everything is already cut up. You didn't see me running off the camera to cut this stuff up. I did it before. It's been in the fridge. The stuff I'm talking about, the cucumbers, the tzatziki-like sauce that I made, the lettuce, the red onions, and even to include the cheese. Now, they were on the rotisserie on my Weber 22-inch kettle. I started off using sweet applewood, and it smelled delicious. This went for about right at 2 hours. The thickness of those thighs, because we compounded them together, made this take a little bit longer than normal. Now, I only ran a fire on one side of the kettle. The next time I do this, to kind of speed things up, get a little bit more char, I will have a fire going down both sides of that kettle. Stay tuned. I'm going to go offline for a little bit so I can snap some pictures, and I'll be back for a taste test. Alright guys, I'm back. I done got my pictures. Let me show y'all what we talking about. So again, I told you guys you can eat this like a taco, or you can eat it stuffed as a pocket. Today we're going as a taco. Let's see if I can actually get a bite of this without having food go everywhere. Alright. I know that chicken's good. I've pulled a few pieces off. And with that sauce. Can you see that? All right. Let's talk about it. The chicken and that shawarma seasoning comes through. One thing I forgot to mention, you guys saw, I took this chicken, I pulverized the onion and some garlic, and that was my marinade with a little salt. You can still get a hint of those onions along with the fresh onion. These fresh onions were set in water to kind of knock out some of that real harsh onion taste. The freshness of the cucumber, that tzatziki-like sauce that I made, the onion paired with the tomato, and that feta cheese rounds it out with a saltiness. That shawarma sauce, I'm gonna be using that a little bit more. I might make some beef shawarma next. This is absolutely delicious. This with a bag of chips and a Coke, perfect. If you haven't done so and you've made it this far in this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Man, this is delicious. I'm about to sit down and finish this as I clean up my yard from all the stuff I've been using. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Beef Smokehouse out.